Men, if there's one thing you must understand in today's dating world, it's this. Women rarely say, "I'm not interested," directly. They don't want the awkward confrontation, they don't want to be seen as cruel, and sometimes they don't even want to burn the bridge completely, because deep down, some will keep you in their orbit as an option while giving their attention to the man they truly desire. Your job as a man is to read between the lines, to protect your time, your dignity, and your energy. If you can't recognize the subtle signs, you will waste years chasing someone who never saw you as her first choice. And worse, you'll lose respect for yourself along the way. That ends today. This conversation is not for the weak. If you want to keep living in a fantasy, this isn't for you. But if you want clarity, strength, and the mindset of a man who commands respect, then stay with me. I will tell you exactly what to look for when a woman is not interested, so you can stop investing in dead ends. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The same principle applies here. If a woman's actions do not show interest, don't fool yourself with hopeful words. In this series, we'll break down the behaviors, the patterns, and the mindset you must have to walk away with your head high. Before we dive into these truths, make sure you subscribe to Masculine Group. This channel is about making men stronger, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If you want to live as a man who commands respect, you're in the right place. 1. She makes time for everyone but you. One of the clearest signs a woman is not interested is when she consistently makes time for other people, but somehow is always too busy for you. And let me be clear, brother, nobody is ever too busy. People make time for what matters to them. If she can rearrange her schedule to grab coffee with her girlfriend or go on a weekend trip with her coworkers, but when you ask to see her, she says, "Maybe next week for the 3rd month in a row," she's telling you something without saying it. A man who respects himself does not chase someone who shows him he's low on their priority list. I've seen too many men fall into the trap of believing she's just going through a busy period, or she needs time to warm up. Stop romanticizing her absence. In truth, when a woman is genuinely interested, she will find a way to fit you into her life. She will be excited to see you. She will move things around. She will show up. The absence of effort is the presence of disinterest. This is exactly where the wisdom of Epictetus applies. He taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In modern terms, stop trying to look smooth, clever, or endlessly patient. Be willing to walk away even if she thinks you're cold or arrogant. Why? Because a man's power lies in his ability to choose himself over anyone who doesn't choose him back. I once had a friend, a man with every quality a woman could want, smart, disciplined, well-dressed. Yet, he spent 8 months chasing a woman who never once initiated contact. She would text back, but never first. She would accept dates if he planned them, but never suggest one. And the worst part? He excused her every time. One day I told him, "You're not dating her. You're auditioning for her attention." That's when it hit him. He had become the background character in her life story, while she was still the main character in his. He cut her off, and within weeks, his confidence started to come back. The mistake he made was thinking time and persistence would make her see his value. But here's the truth. You don't convince someone to like you. They either see your worth or they don't. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Apply that to relationships. Your time is limited. Your life is finite. Why waste it on someone who cannot even carve out an hour for you? If a woman consistently places you at the bottom of her list, she's already told you where you stand. Don't argue with it. Don't negotiate. Don't beg. Respect it and walk away. Because the man who walks away from low effort is the man who becomes magnetic to high-value women. And here's the thing, they're watching. Women notice men who don't linger where they're not wanted. It signals strength, boundaries, and self-respect. When you start moving like that, the quality of women in your life changes completely. 2. Her words and actions don't match. One of the most dangerous traps a man can fall into is believing a woman's words while ignoring her actions. A woman might say, "I really like you. You're such a great guy," or "I've just been busy," yet her behavior tells a completely different story. She cancels plans at the last minute, takes hours or even days to reply to your messages, avoids meaningful conversation, and doesn't put effort into connecting. Men who don't understand this dynamic end up clinging to the words because the truth in the actions is too painful to accept. This is exactly why you must adopt the mindset of a Stoic. Believe behavior over speech. Actions are the language of truth, and inconsistency is a warning sign. Seneca once said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." His point was that life will constantly present you with disappointment, so don't add more pain by deceiving yourself. When a woman's behavior shows she is not truly invested, the most masculine thing you can do is confront reality instead of holding on to her sweet but hollow words. I knew a man once who was talking to a woman who would tell him how amazing he was, how much she enjoyed their time, and how she couldn't wait to see him again. But every time they were supposed to meet, she would have something come up. He would wait weeks for another chance, all while she was posting photos out with friends and even with other men. He clung to her words because they gave him hope, but ignored her actions, which screamed disinterest. That hope became his prison. The day he finally accepted the truth was the day his self-respect started to rebuild. You must understand something fundamental. Interest is not hidden. It is expressed in effort, time, and presence. If a woman says she's into you, but makes no effort to see you, her words are just noise. This is where Epictetus's wisdom applies. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. In relationships, this means you don't argue with a woman about whether she likes you. You watch her actions. If those actions show you she doesn't, you leave. No long speeches, no emotional outbursts, just a decisive exit. A man of strength doesn't live in a fantasy world where words outweigh reality. He understands that when a woman is truly interested, she doesn't leave you guessing. She doesn't confuse you. Her actions and her words align because she wants them to. And when they don't align, you don't chase clarity. You walk away. The reason this is so important is because men who ignore mismatched words and actions often fall into months, even years, of emotional investment without a return. They keep hoping her behavior will eventually match her words, but it rarely happens. Instead, their confidence erodes, their boundaries weaken, and they start believing they're lucky to get whatever scraps of attention she gives. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply that here. If her behavior isn't showing interest, it isn't right for you to keep investing in it. If her words aren't matched with action, they're not true. Walk away not because you're bitter, but because your self-respect demands it. A high-value man doesn't get swayed by flattery. He gets moved by evidence. And when the evidence shows a lack of interest, he makes the hard choice. He moves on without looking back. 3. Minimal effort. When a woman is genuinely interested, she invests. She puts in effort to look good for you, to engage in meaningful conversations, to make time, and to keep the connection alive. But when she's not interested, her effort level drops to almost nothing. She might reply to your messages with one-word answers, take hours or days to respond, or give vague, non-committal answers when you try to make plans. The key here is to understand that low effort is not an accident. It's a choice. And that choice tells you exactly where you stand. Men often ignore this because they've been conditioned to believe persistence will eventually win a woman over. But as Epictetus taught, if you want to be unstoppable, stop concerning yourself with things beyond your control. Her effort is beyond your control. You can't inspire it, buy it, or charm it into existence if it's not there naturally. A man I once coached was obsessed with a woman who gave him almost no energy back. She'd respond to his heartfelt messages with LOL or K. She'd dodge every attempt to meet up, yet he kept doubling down, sending her gifts, compliments, and long emotional texts. The result? She lost even more respect for him. She knew she didn't have to do anything to keep his attention, so she gave him the bare minimum. That is what minimal effort really means. She's doing just enough to keep you around without ever committing. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In this case, a good man respects himself enough to walk away from crumbs. If she's giving you minimal effort now, it will never magically increase later. In fact, if you stay, you teach her that she can do less and still have you. That's not love, that's convenience, and convenience is not worth your dignity. The masculine move is to stop rewarding minimal effort with maximum attention. The moment you see this pattern, you cut it off, not to punish her, but to protect yourself. 4. No initiation. A woman who is genuinely interested will initiate sometimes. She will text first, suggest plans, send you something that reminds her of you, or check in when you haven't spoken for a while. When she's not interested, she never initiates. All contact is started by you. If you stop reaching out, the entire connection dies because she has no genuine desire to keep it alive. This is one of the most telling signs of disinterest, yet it's one of the easiest for men to ignore. Men will rationalize it by saying, she's shy, or she's just not a texter. But the truth is that interest always finds a way to express itself. Even the shyest woman will find a subtle way to connect with the man she truly wants. The lack of initiation is her telling you without words, you are not a priority. Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you allow yourself to think that her lack of initiation means nothing, you are training yourself to accept mediocrity in your relationships. You must instead adopt the mindset that mutual effort is a requirement, not an option. Epictetus also said, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. In this context, your philosophy as a man should be that you will not carry the entire weight of any relationship. If she wants to be in your life, she must step forward too. I've seen men chase for months, thinking that if they just kept initiating, she'd eventually start doing the same. It never happened. Why? Because she was never interested enough to begin with. All he did was confirm to her that he'd keep doing the work without requiring anything back. That is not masculine strength, that's servitude. When a woman never initiates, she is signaling that she's fine without you. She doesn't think about you when you're not there. And if you stop contacting her, she won't feel compelled to bridge the gap. This is why your ability to step back and see what happens is so important. A man of strength doesn't fear silence. He uses it as a test. He knows that if she's truly interested, she will reach out eventually. And if she doesn't, that silence is his answer. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." In relationships, craving more from someone who gives you nothing is a form of poverty. You're starving for scraps while convincing yourself it's a feast. The way out is to stop initiating for a time and see if she fills the space. If she doesn't, you leave. You don't announce it. You don't give speeches. You simply redirect your energy to women who show genuine enthusiasm for you. A masculine man does not waste his life chasing the unwilling. He understands that initiation is a sign of investment. If she can't invest in you now, she won't suddenly become invested later. Walk away, not with bitterness, but with the quiet certainty that your time and effort are better spent where they are valued. 5. Distracted presence. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she is present. She listens, engages, and makes you feel like the moment you share matters. When she's not interested, her presence is scattered. She's on her phone during conversations. She gives half-hearted responses. She seems mentally somewhere else. And here's the thing. Interest is not just about whether she shows up physically. It's about how she shows up mentally and emotionally. If you're speaking to her and she's scrolling, checking notifications, or looking around the room, that's a silent but powerful signal that her mind is elsewhere. Men often excuse this as her being tired, stressed, or distracted by life. But when a woman is truly drawn to you, your presence commands her attention, even if she has 1,000 other things on her plate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You cannot control her focus, but you can control your reaction to it. If you tolerate distracted presence, you teach her that your time is not worth guarding. I've seen men go on dates where the woman spent more time texting than looking at them, yet they still asked for a second date. That's not persistence, that's self-betrayal. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you call yourself a man of value, then act like it." A man of value does not compete with a smartphone for attention. He does not accept being treated like background noise. If you notice she's more engaged with everything else around her than she is with you, take it as the truth. It's not that she's busy, it's that she's uninterested. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, the world disappears when she's with you. If that's not happening, she's not feeling it. Seneca once said, "It is better to conquer our grief than to deceive it." In relationships, it's better to face the truth of her lack of interest than to hide behind excuses for her disengagement. Distracted presence is not neutral. It's a direct reflection of her emotional investment. A masculine man recognizes this early and moves on without needing to announce his decision. He knows that attention is a currency, and he will only spend it where it is fully reciprocated. 6. Avoiding alone time. When a woman truly likes you, she wants moments with you away from the crowd. She wants that space where the two of you can connect without distractions, where the energy is focused and personal. When she's not interested, she avoids situations where it's just the two of you. She'll prefer group hangouts, public settings, or situations where others are present. She'll suggest bringing friends along or suddenly invite someone else to join plans you made together. This avoidance is not random, it's strategic. Being alone with you would create intimacy she's not looking for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." If she consistently avoids one-on-one time, that's her truth. And as a man, you must accept it without complaint or begging. I knew a man who kept asking a woman to have dinner alone with him. She always had an excuse: work, family, errands. Yet, the same week she'd say she was too busy, she'd post photos out at dinner with her friends. He kept pushing, thinking if he found the right way to ask, she'd finally agree. But the truth was simple. She didn't want that kind of connection with him. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be a writer, write." In relationships, if she wishes to be with you, she will be. There is no confusion. A woman who is into you will find a way to create alone time, even in small moments. Avoidance means she doesn't want to deepen the bond. This is where many men lose themselves. They take it personally, question their worth, and try harder. But the masculine path is to recognize that avoidance is rejection in a polite disguise. You must have enough self-respect to see the pattern, not the excuses. If every suggestion for alone time is met with resistance or constant rescheduling, she's showing you her priorities. A high-value man does not chase someone who actively avoids deeper connection. He steps back because he knows that where interest is real, no such avoidance exists. Men, the signs are never as complicated as you make them. A woman who is not interested will show you through her actions long before she ever says it with her words, if she says it at all. Minimal effort, no initiation, distracted presence, avoiding alone time, lack of physical warmth. These are not isolated incidents. They are patterns. And patterns don't lie. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If your thoughts are built on illusions and wishful thinking, you will keep yourself in situations that drain you. But if your thoughts are rooted in reality, you'll protect your time, your dignity, and your masculine energy. You are not here to convince someone to see your value. You are here to live as a man of value and allow those who recognize it to step forward. Epictetus taught that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Her interest level is beyond your control, but walking away when it's absent is fully in your control.